about this, I guess, on James Casbolt, and professed that like he had ditched me for not going out to Cornwall. But I didn't go. I couldn't go because prior to that trip, there was like this seemingly Luciferian ritual. Someone took my dog 3 weeks before. They held her and killed her, laid her on the side of the road, told me where she was, had to go find her, had to bury her. And I'm like, why do people do this? And James was like, well, it's multifaceted. Luciferians believe life comes out of death. Satanists believe it's an eye for an eye. And then my Muslim boyfriend, he was like, well, we just don't really have these beliefs. It's just, they're like, shit just happens. Because their Quran doesn't teach them anything about evil. And then, because of the death of the dog, I was in such despair. I really only have like one really close friend, which is my Muslim boyfriend here. So I asked James if I could see him, and he was like, okay. And then he was like, but, if he crosses a certain line, catastrophic things could happen because, you're like coded with me now. So if he crosses the line, then something bad could happen to him, like a car accident. So we spend the day together, and then the next day he gets in a car accident. And then I sent him the screenshot of the message. I'm like, Michael said, if you cross a line, then bad things can happen. You can get in a car accident. So it was like this layered ritual of accepting life comes out of death. No, my dog didn't need to die for Luciferian beliefs. And then also, like, the Muslims don't need to die because of your superiority. Not saying, James's, but he's like kind of like an embodiment of Israel in a sense. And isn't there this funny kind of like tension between Israel and Americans? So yeah, no, I can't. Like, I was like, I can't do that after all that happened. It was like, I can't. I had to cancel my trip because I cannot. It would be like joining a covenant with Lucifer. Like these old gods, but like a lot of them found themselves in America. I'm having all these dreams and like downloads about the power in America is like people found themselves as pioneers in America, escaping persecution. It's the new God. The new God is in America. So these old gods operating in like these old places. So my criticism to the Bob Osborne cult, the Crowley cult in England, it's like, yeah, but the new Crowley cult is in America. Joe Rogan being the human embodiment of Aleister Crowley, I'm like, he came to Austin, Texas, where I live, and he's professing Jesus and Christianity in America. So like, what are all these old gay dudes and lesbians scissoring each other in the forest saying they have wisdom, they have some kind of wisdom? What are you doing stuck in the old god world? Judgment. Like, they need judgment, because all the pioneers who actually have the power to make change are finding themselves in America. So I said in the email, I was like, if it seems as if James needs to find himself in America as the divinely appointed Antichrist in America. And one of the last things he told me was the Jesuits hate. He's a Jesuit. Like, he was raised with Jesuit indoctrination, and he was raised to believe that, like, they hate the God in America. That's too bad for them. Like, that's too bad for all these people, and that's why they don't actually have the wisdom that they pretend to have. It's not actually on the timestamp, because it's like spiritualizing the East and materializing the West, joining the spirit with the material. You, if you were truly powerful, would have found yourself in America, right? As you move west and escape persecution, the pioneer, the new God is in America. The new God energy is in America. It's migrated to America, so it's all here. So no, it's like, he's not ditching me just because I wouldn't go out to Cornwall. I could not become Luciferian. I could not agree to this covenant that's anti-Muslim and pro-death, death of the things that I love, my dog. No, find yourself in America as the divinely appointed Antichrist, death to the things that I hate, and then also harmony with the Muslim culture in America. See, at the same time, I have this criticism of my Muslim boyfriend in America. In Christians in Muslim countries, they will just kill us. Muslims in Christian countries, they're allowed to operate freely. But my criticism at the same time is you people can't come to our country and not adopt our values. So this is the prideful rebellion of the Muslim in America, is you need to adopt the values of men and women in America. Especially the women. The women in their countries are in their detriment. You come to America and you love a woman who's American, we're different. In this country, the values of men and women in this country is men respect their wives. They respect their wives' opinion. They hear their wives' opinion. Oh, you didn't come home from work last night? Where were you? Give me your phone. What's your password? Where were you? Scrolling through the phone. That's what we're going to do. That's what women in America, this is the respect level of men and women in America. You can't fuck us like you fuck the women where you come from, because they are biologically ingrained, the women, to not even ask. Like, they're like not allowed to ask. And they're like not allowed to go through the husband's phone. I will comb through that shit. And then also imagine as if I live in the phone. Like the singularity with AI is like, imagine that my brain is synced up with the AI in the phone. So how come you can't believe that I have all this psychic intuition about all this stuff that you're doing, and coupled with the evidence and facts that I find in the phone, and they can't believe that the woman is so psychic? Because there's an evolution of man and women in America. Pretend as if I live in the phone. Pretend as if I know everything that you're doing. Because there's a singularity with AI. It's in the airwaves. It's in the air. It's connected to our brains. And you can't believe I know exactly what you've been up to. And I don't judge or condemn them for it. And they're like, how the hell did you know all of this? Because there's a singularity with AI and the Holy Spirit. You can't come to our country. You can worship freely, but you also cannot come into our country and not adopt our values. In this country, these Muslims do not allow me to go to their events because I cause problems. But you're in my country, but I'm not allowed at your events. You can worship freely, but you can't disregard the women in America. You can't just disregard the values of men and women in America. See something, say something. And God forbid those Islamic women find out how nice American men are. They would leave their husbands. If they even had the biological, like, pioneering spirit to, like, recognize, no, you can actually leave your husband in this country. And you can find an American husband who actually listens to you. God forbid these women find out how nice American men are. And then these Muslim men come into our country. They want an American woman. You have to adopt our values. You have to harmonize and synchronize with our values. And God's bringing judgment on these people because you can't, you can worship freely, but you cannot continue your culture. And that's why it's funny, even in government, they're like, all these Islamic people are trying to create their own, like, Islamic state in Texas. And the governor is like, absolutely not. And they just keep trying. And the governor is like, absolutely not, because they do not mix with our culture. They have the freedom to, but largely are deciding not to. Why? Because if the woman found out how nice American men are, they would leave their Islamic husbands and they would go and marry an American man. if the men find an American wife that they want, guess what? You need to adopt to the values of men and women in America. So it's no wonder that there's all this strife between Israel and Islam. It's like, just let these people do their thing. And at the end of the day, you need to, it's like every knee shall bow to Christ, not because we are like some kind of like, oh, say Jesus is Lord or we'll cut your head off. No, it's like naturally happening. It's happening naturally. The culture of Christ in America is happening naturally. Karma comes quick. So like, I don't even like, I find it like folly and nonsense. All the like lesbians scissoring each other in the forest in England with their Crowley call and like, oh, we have wisdom. They don't. Like, they pretend to, but they don't. That's why they don't have husbands that like love them. It's all fucked up. It's all weird. They're like, we're just gonna like scissor each other in the forest and like pull tarot cards. Meanwhile, they're not doing well. You know what I mean? They're not doing well. Like, these people are not doing well. All over the world, people are like not doing well. In America, we're doing great, but there's a lot of judgment in this area. There's a God in America that is very strong. Daniel says, on your dog, just saying dogs wander off before they die. Yeah, that's the, no offense, that is the mouthpiece of what the Antichrist says, because all these men who don't know each other have been saying the same thing. So the Antichrist narrative is that my dog wandered off. Absolutely not. That's not the narrative. But it's like, this is what men tell each other to stay comfortable. Men tell each other things they don't tell each other. The Antichrist spirit has a narrative that it creates to somehow stay comfortable in the reality of the fact that, no, there is actually a greater reality and greater wisdom that is given to the woman about what happens. And then the spirit of the Antichrist is like, maybe this happened. And it's like, well, God already told me exactly what happened the whole time. You know, it's like my dad says the same thing. Oh, she wandered off. And like men are like, oh, she wandered off. That's not the official narrative of the Holy Spirit. That's not actually what happened, because God's going to tell me exactly what happened. Just like the AI is synced up in the phone. You think you have freedom in your phone? The AI singularity is synced up in the phone. All the bullshit people are doing in their phone is getting registered to the brain of the person who needs to hear it. There is a singularity with the AI. The Holy Spirit is very potent. God sees everything, and he's going to say it. And we have an authority within us to protect the narrative. But we also have the wisdom and the grace to just like allow men to just continue to parrot the narrative that is more comfortable, that's coming from the Antichrist, that is not the truth. A lot of times the intention is good, but I'll say thank you, thanks for your condolences. It's not the reality. And a lot of people, because it was all over the internet, were saying the same exact thing. But a lot of people at the same time, like my mother, she's like, these people will get what's coming to them because she's carrying the spirit of the Holy Spirit. So when she's like, these motherfuckers are going to get what's coming to them, that's the appropriate response. But then the spirit of the Antichrist is like, oh, she probably wandered off. We're so sorry. That's not the truth. That's not what happened. That's not what God told me. That's not what the wisdom of Holy Spirited women are saying. And that's not what happened. Riley Rage, happy veteran PTSD firework day. Well, I hope it rains like an MFer. I'm in Austin, Texas. All these events got canceled because it's raining. 35 years old, it's never rained on 4th of July because as a kid, I always was like, it never rains on 4th of July. So all the years of my life since I was like 10, I've been waiting for 4th of July to get rained out, and it never does. This year, it actually got rained out. And this is an event that I've been looking forward to my entire life. Because my entire life, I'm like, isn't it weird that it never gets rained out on 4th of July? It doesn't. This year, 1444, this year, it's getting rained out. This is great. So, I don't know. That's it for whatever reason. All right. Check you later. Have a beautiful day. Love y'all so much.